I was born hearing. And then I would say when I was 11 months old or so, I became ill with a very high fever and was deaf after that. So I essentially grew up deaf, but I love music. I'm Gerald Brown. I work at the Arizona School for the Deaf and Blind. I'm the head basketball coach there for boys, and I'm the head coach for both boys and girl track. My brother and I, a whole group of us actually, we were watching Soul Train, and we would do that every Saturday. We were watching that together. I would put my hand on the television set to feel the music coming through the speakers on the TV. I would say when I was 9 or 10 years old, my dad's side of the family, again, this is my brother, they were actually signed with Motown Company, a recording company. And so that was really how I started getting into it. I would go to their practices, and I would go to the studio and see how they made everything and watch them tour. I would see other musicians and artists. Really, family was my introduction into the music world.
I like the variety of music. I don't really stay at one genre too heavily. I'm Arizona. Yes, like the state. I am not deaf. I am what they consider a coda. So my parents are deaf. My aunt is hearing, like I said, she's an interpreter. If you have a story without a rhythm on stage, that isn't enough. So having a good balance is really important.
My name is Jennifer Hudgens. I'm an ASL English interpreter. I am taking the message or the concept of what's being said, and then I interpret it into conceptual accurate signs. So when I would do theater, I would actually go to one of their rehearsals or one of their earlier showings and stand in the back and literally interpret it with my hands in the air, doing a practice run for myself. And then once I know that well enough, the signs just come.
For me, I would want a live ASL interpretation to be shown. I would not want the song to be performed with a lack of expression. I want them to tell me, come on, do it, come on, get into it. Most of the time when I go to concerts, the interpreter is dancing, keeping with the beat of the music and feeling connected to it. And I think it should be that way. I would say a hearing interpreter who really knows the music is the one I would prefer. That way we have a similar understanding for both of us. So I think it really depends on the personal interests of the interpreter who should have the job. If you call for ASL interpreters far enough ahead of time, you can usually get them reserved. Hey, but if I don't do that, then that's on me, and I still show up. Usually I know the songs and the lyrics. I'll go with my wife, and sometimes she'll interpret a little bit of it for me. I tell the venues, if it is an available option, I'll give them a list of my preferred interpreters. But I typically would let them know who I would prefer to be interpreting the show, so it matches the audio around.
Some deaf people, they don't care whether it's a hearing interpreter or a deaf interpreter, as long as they're having access.
You want to be engaging. You want to convey the emotion that is being set on stage. So, if it's a really slow song, your signing should be a little slower. It should be matching the rhythm that's there. If you're deadpan signing, then you're missing the emotion.
I think you need to be really careful about being too showy because, again, it's not about you. Yes, you want to do an amazing job because if you do a really amazing job, that means that deaf consumer enjoyed that performance more, whether it be a concert, a play, a speech, whatever it is. It's like any culture and any language. People don't want you to just take from it without having a part in it because it's theirs, it's not ours.
I know a lot of what goes into reading the script and getting feedback from the community and then practicing. Not just in your head, but actually in front of a mirror, doing a rehearsal and having a drink ahead of time to loosen up and get ready for it. Again, it depends on the interpreter, whether they would put the work ahead of time or not so much.